this is going to be 13 amazing slashers, no particular order. It's not a list like some of my other videos have been. It's not even a countdown, none of that. It's just going to be basically talking about 13 amazing slashers, giving my take on them and whatnot. As you can see, I thought I'd film my little Friday the 13th section. A few figures in there, as you can see, from like Jason Lives and Freddy vs Jason Part 2. Got the mega scale doll there. I don't really know why I'm talking about that, because it's about slasher movies, but it kind of does correlate with Jason being a slasher icon. Anyway, let's get to the rundown of 13 amazing. Okay, so I thought I'd start with a retro slasher from 2014. It's Lake Nowhere. Now, it's not exactly a feature-length film. It equates to about 49 minutes, I think. I'll have a quick look, but it's a brilliant retro slasher nonetheless, and it's, you know, it's done in that retro style. 51 minutes it equates to, but that's counting fake advertisements on the beginning. So if you remember the Grindhouse double feature from Tarantino, and I think it's the director Rodriguez, he did Planet Terror, and Tarantino did Death Proof. It has these fake trailers on the beginning, you know, for like Machete, which did actually go on to be its own feature film. This has the same thing. I don't think any of the trailers at the beginning of this became feature films, as far as I know. Nope. But it does have some fun trailers at the beginning. It has about 2 or 3 fun fake trailers. Gets you really in the mood. It's made to look like a VHS, so the whole, you know, the whole 51-minute film is basically like, you know, it's VHS kind of quality. A little bit better because it's you know, it's put onto Blu-ray, so it doesn't quite look as bad as a bad VHS, but it's done in that style, if you kind of get what I'm going, you know, trying to say and to you. Yeah, it's got the VHS kind of stylings. It's not exactly that crisp, but that's how it's meant to be, you know, that's the filter they put on the film. It's about this group of people go to stay in a cabin to get drunk and party and, you know what, you know, get up to like some antics. One of them happens to go missing. They don't make a big thing out of it because they think he's just gone swimming naked. However, this guy, the killer, rises out of the water, you know, and goes after them basically. And there's a bit more to it, like his origins and stuff. I don't really want to wreck it, but it's got a really good ending. It's got some great kills in there. Everything you could want out of a slasher, really. It's just too short, but it suits the film. You know, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Maybe it's meant to be 51 minutes, as that's what the creators of the film did. But yeah, great kills, got good atmosphere, it's got some tension, it's got some great music. The killer's great. He almost resembles kind of like a beefed up, buffed up version of Jason, who's already a large killer, but this guy's as big, like, and he's got a weird wooden mask. And it has some great shots of his eyes. Shows he's got like he's got blue skin, so it shows you the mask, and you can kind of see under where his eyes are showing. He's got like these kind of cold eyes, and then you see like parts of the blue skin underneath the wooden mask. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant retro slasher. So that's Lake Nowhere. So as you can probably tell with the first movie I talked about, I'm not going for like sort of the big slashers. I'm going to perhaps put a couple in there, but because they, you know, there is some amazing ones, but I'm trying to go for more low key ones to begin with at least. So I picked out 1981's Madhouse. This is the Arrow release. If you haven't got it, it's worth getting. You can pick this up in the sales that they have. It's not the dearest Blu-ray out there. It may have gone up a little bit if it's become a bit rarer, but I think it's still readily available, Madhouse. It's a pretty crazy film. I won't give too much away. It's about this woman who stays in an apartment, and she starts to realise she's not alone, and things go from there. And it's got some crazy stuff at the end when the killer's revealed. They turn out to be an absolute nut, and they go super crazy and do some crazy shit, and they've got some funny quotes and stuff as well. But yeah, I think gets a bit of slack, this film, from what I've seen, but I quite liked it, to be fair. I think it's a middle of the road kind of run-of-the-mill slasher. It's not the most exciting overall, but it is a good one. It's got a good little bit of atmosphere, and the house where the apartments are is quite eerie, and, you know, it's a bit spooky. That's the cover as well. Yeah, really nice cover. But yeah, Madhouse, worth a look. So I also picked out Body Parts. This is the Scream Factory edition. Yeah, really cool movie. It's a bit more than your average slasher, actually. There's a few more moving parts to it, no pun intended or anything. It's just, you know, it's got more moving parts to it and things to it than just being a generic slasher. But really cool. This guy basically gets an I believe I've not seen it for a while, but I believe he gets a serial killer's arm attached to him after an accident, and obviously you can imagine where it goes from there. Down what sort of road it goes down, the sort of territory it takes. And yeah, he it's got this killer's arm, and things go a little bit nuts. So for the 10th in the video, I picked out another Scream Factory. They've got some great movies on their line, especially on Blu-ray. I know they keep doing the 4Ks now, which is great. It's great. They do a really good job with the 4K ultra high definition releases, but I'm a big fan of what they put out on Blu-ray as well. At one stage when they were doing more Blu-rays, it seems to be a bit of a rarity with Scream Factory now, but we'll see what happens in the future. The Final Terror, I'll just check what year it's from. 83, so another 80s slasher. This video is going to be full of them, as that's where we had the slasher boom after sort of Halloween in the late 70s and Friday the 13th came out. Yeah, The Final Terror is cool. It's about a bunch of campers go camping in the wilderness, and they're basically getting picked off. So, you know, it's familiar territory, but it's done in a really good way. And if you like slasher movies, you know, sometimes these movies are like very, you know, they're very similar, but they have their own kind of like atmosphere and vibe and things, you know, and they're enjoyable in their own right. And Final Terror is no exception. Like, it's got quite a good reveal at the end. It plays with who the killer is, you know, who do you think it is, and keeps you guessing. Okay, next up, Happy Birthday to Me. This is the Great Indicator release, another 80s slasher. I think it might be 80, let's see if I can find it. 1980, so early on in the slasher craze, same year as Friday the 13th got released. Yeah, really fun one. Again, keeps you guessing who the killer is. One little sort of negative point I do find about the movie is I thought it was a little bit too long. So I believe it's about 100 minutes. Yeah, it's 110 minutes, so it's 10 minutes shy of 2 hours. This one, it clocks in very long, but it is a good one, and there's some cool kills. There's some inventive kills. About this girl's group of friends being picked off, and you wonder if she's possibly the killer. I'm not going to reveal it, and you wonder if somebody else is, and it keeps you guessing, keeps giving you you know, little pieces to put the puzzle together. It's got that cool kill where someone gets an skewer in their mouth, like loads of meat on a stick stuffed down the throat. More kills as well, which I can't remember. And it's got a nice sort of crazy like climax when the reveal happens. You know, you really, yeah, for some people would find it quite shocking. I didn't personally, because I kind of guessed some of it, but it did surprise me a little. So Happy Birthday to Me is a really good one and worth picking up, especially this release as well. It's a nice. So the 8th, I'm going to show in the 13 amazing slashers. By the way, if you didn't listen at the beginning, it's not a countdown, so it's not a list. This is in no particular order, should I say. Excuse my fumbling, but anyway, we have the Child's Play remake. I thought I'd include this because it's not the most praised movie out there, but it's a really good one. It takes the character of Chucky in a slightly like different direction. He's an AI doll rather than being possessed by somebody. You know, in the original series, he's kind of like it's down to voodoo magic, so he's a serial killer possessing the doll in the original films. In this one, it's AI that's been created. Andy gets hold of him, and Chucky starts going on a rampage. I believe this is not the good guy doll. They're called the Buddy dolls in this one. But I thought it was really good. One of the better remakes in the last few years. I think it was from like 2019 or something. Yeah, 2019. A lot of people probably aren't high on this. I don't really hear people talk about it, but I thought it was a really good modern sort of slasher and a good take on Child's Play as well, in a very, you know, got more of a sinister, like serious tone to it. Don't get me wrong, the original Chucky is sinister, but this guy's also very cold and unforgiving. Yeah, it's a good little movie, this Child's Play. So as you can see, now I've picked out Just Before Dawn. Fantastic backwoods slasher, one of my favourites actually. It's becoming one of my favourites every time I watch it. Seen it a handful of times. It's from 1981. Yeah, and it's got really good atmosphere, and you get the whole, like, you know, it's got some similarities to other films like sort of Friday the 13th a little bit, as it's about campers, although they're not camp counsellors at a camp. They're actually people who just go camping, this group of friends. And little do they know, there's a bunch of like backwoods maniacs hanging about. It's got some great performances in there. George Kennedy plays a good role as he tries to go and save them. And yeah, the killers aren't exactly the most terrifying, but they suit the backwoods like vibe. You know, they're big, sort of like slightly deformed, like humongous like men, sort of in like lumberjack shirts and stuff, like going after this group of young people, and it's great. From 1981, so it's in the early stages of the slasher craze. Yeah, just before dawn, I'm a big fan of that. Okay, so I also picked out Next of Kin. It's an Australian film, and it does star, I forget the guy's name now, but he played the killer in Wolf Creek. I've even forgot his bloody name now, which isn't good. John Jarratt. So it has John Jarratt in it from Wolf Creek. You know, the crazy man in that. I can't believe I've forgotten his name. Yeah, it escapes me. Yeah, I've drew a blank on that. I do know his name, but it's yeah, it's completely drew a blank. But he's in it anyway. He's not the killer or anything. It's got quite a good reveal, good atmosphere. It's set in this sort of like home for, like, I think it's old folks. Yeah, set in Australia, and this young woman's inherited it, and yeah, she soon delves and dives into some secrets about the family, and things get revealed. Yeah, really good atmosphere in this one. Not the best slasher I've seen, but it's a good sort of more low-key one. This is the second Sight release. Yeah, really nice addition. I wish I could remember the killer's name from Wolf Creek. I might even put Wolf Creek in this list, so we can actually so I can actually be refreshed, because I've completely forgot his name. But anyway, for the sixth film I'm showing in this 13, it's Next. So I went and refreshed myself with who John Jarratt plays in Wolf Creek, and I can't believe I forgot it, so do forgive me. But his name is Mick Taylor, and I do that does, you know, I do remember that. But I thought for the fifth entry in Amazing Slashers, you know, it's no particular order, but I thought for the fifth I'd stick in Wolf Creek, because this is an amazing one. I loved this when it first came out. I thought it was great. Had the DVD. Obviously I've upgraded to Blu-ray now. It's set in Australia. It's this group of people in the outback. You know, they go on an adventure, and they come across this sinister guy, Mick Taylor, in his car and his truck, and he's basically got this junkyard which he owns, and he takes his victims there, and they've got to try and escape, and he kills people. You know, he's a murderer in the outback. Yeah, fantastic film. It's a bit of a road movie as well, so you're on the road quite a lot. The victims are trying to get away, you know, via the road and stuff, but they've got to watch out for Mick Taylor circling around in the outback. Wolf Creek, yeah. So next up is a Blue Underground Blu-ray, and it is of Stage Fright. It's about this group of young people starring in an play, basically theatre, a dance number, and they start getting picked off, and they're stuck in the building for the night, and yeah, people start showing up dead. Yeah, and things take a grisly turn. It's got a fantastic killer in it, who wears an owl outfit, so he's like a big owl. Yeah, really good looking killer in this one. Let's try and find what year it's from. Should say somewhere 1987, this one, and it's director Michele Soavi, or Soavi, or Soavi, I think. Yeah, Italian director, and works with Argento a lot as a producer, and Argento's been a producer on a lot of his films. So this is actually his feature, Stage Fright. Again, like I said, the owl killer is amazing. Like he's got feathers and everything. There's a great scene where he sits on one of the chairs on the stage. Looks quite menacing and weird as well. Yeah, great kills in there too. Yeah, Stage Fright from Blue Underground. And I won't do a cut this time. I do have another Blue Underground to show, and this will be the third one. Not the third one, but like the third entry in the 13 Amazing Slashers. And that's the Prowler. Special effects from Tom Savini. It's a classic. I know a lot of people love this. I bet a lot of people haven't heard of it too. This Blu-ray's from 2010, and this is a 1981. So a lot of good slashers in that early sort of 80s area in those years. And the Prowler's no exception. Like I say, Tom Savini does the effects. It's about this guy getting revenge. He's wearing like a military sort of uniform, and he's going around like killing people with a pitchfork. There's some brutal stuff in there, as you can imagine, with the effects being by Savini. You know, they're really bloody, but great effects to look at. You know, you can admire like a specialist like Tom Savini when he, you know, his films with the effects, and you can really see his craft in motion. And the Prowler's brilliant. So I'll get on to the final two that I'm going to show. Yeah, so if you've not seen the Prowler, do give this, and you like slasher movies, do give this one a go, because it is pretty remarkable as a slasher. It's a good one. probably slightly underrated as well. These are the last two that I'm going to show in this video, as it was 13 amazing slashers. Well, what I think are amazing slashers, whether you do is a different story, but they're, you know, I'm sure most people who like horror will enjoy these ones. So I picked out Alone in the Dark. Yeah, really good one. I believe it has Donald Pleasance in there. He plays like a psychiatric doctor, I'm sure, in there. Yep, Donald Pleasance. So I've only watched this film once when it first came out from Scream Factory, but as you can see, it's got a fantastic like cover. It's about these inmates that escape, and you know, they're taking people hostage and they're killing people, and there's a killer out there as well. And like, you know, like the psychiatric doctors are scared that these guys are going to revert to being killers again. And yeah, quite a bit of a caper. Yeah, really good movie. Another sort of underrated one you don't hear about much, but when Scream Factory, sorry, silly dogs barking, oh, for God's sake. When Scream Factory dropped it, yeah, I was really psyched to get hold of this. I was very excited, as it was a first time watch, and then I watched it, so I will be watching this again soon. But Alone in the Dark, absolutely, yeah, phenomenal slasher film. Yeah, very underrated as well. Well, I say underrated, it's probably more unheard of to some people. So fans of the genre will know this. People outside of the genre who don't really watch a lot of horror movies or like are into that may never have heard of Alone in the Dark. So if you haven't, do yourself a favour and check it out, because it's great. So we're all nice and quiet now. I didn't even have to go downstairs, but the dogs bark sometimes. So sorry if it disrupted the audio on the last Blu-ray I was showing. But finally, another Scream Factory. I know this video has been littered with quite a few, and that's Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. It's a meta horror, it's a mockumentary, so kind of found footage style, but not exactly found footage, more mockumentary. As you can see, Robert Englund's in there as a character. It's about this guy who's basically aspires to be a serial killer, and he gets this young woman to film it like a documentary of him, like what he's going to do and how he plans his kills and how he's going to plan the killing of this girl he's been stalking, and him stalking her on the in the mockumentary. Yeah, again, another one, like, do yourself a favour if you've never heard of it or seen it, go and watch this one, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Now, at one stage there was, like, I did hear sort of rumblings of there being a sequel, but it's never come into fruition, which is a shame, and it probably won't now. I mean, it'd be great if it did, but you know, this is from the 2000s, so probably won't. But yeah, nonetheless, you know, go and get the Scream Factory edition as well, because it's got fantastic art and the edition's really good. It's got some extras on there, and I don't think there's a better edition of this movie out at the moment. So yeah, that were 13 amazing slashers. Anyway, I'll do perhaps another video of this with more slashers. Obviously, like, I didn't want to reveal before you watch the video what slashers were going to be in this, so on the thumbnail I did put some of the icons like Jason and Michael and stuff, although none of their films have been in this video. It's not to say these films are better than those films that weren't mentioned, it's just I wanted to do low-key stuff, so do bear that in mind. Things that are slightly more low-key have been a part of this video. Anyway, got any comments, do drop them. I'll be happy to read them and respond. Thanks for watching. Bye.